And it's time to look at business headlines. Hayley Woodin from Business in Vancouver joins us now. Good morning, Hayley.
Good morning.
We just saw the S&P 500 was down again so far in trading today, and yesterday it recorded its biggest daily percentage drop in 3 months. And analysts think this may have something to do with Trump.
Yep, that's right. There are a couple of reasons here, of course. Throughout this week, we've seen several high-profile CEOs in the U.S. quit some of Trump's business advisory councils over remarks he made regarding events in Charlottesville. Trump has since disbanded 2 business councils, and yesterday we heard the White House announce that Trump has abandoned plans to create an infrastructure advisory council. Now, he hasn't necessarily abandoned any intentions to launch a major infrastructure program, but of course, one of the reasons why we've seen the markets south of the border rally for the better part of the last year is because many companies and investors have been expecting to see a massive infrastructure spending program that really has yet to materialize. So as we creep closer to a year since Trump was first elected, a lot of analysts wondering whether we're actually going to see some of the economic promises made materialize. Now, it is worth noting the S&P 500 is still up by more than 13% since November 8th, but we are starting to see some drops, some more significant drops, more closely together. So it could lend the perception that Wall Street is starting to wane on the idea that we're going to see some massive spending south of the border.
All right. Well, this next story has a huge impact on BC, to say the least. The former president and CEO of BC Hydro is calling the final investment decision on Site C, quote, reckless and irresponsible. Those are pretty strong words.
They're very strong words from someone who has spent more than 40 years in the Canadian utility sector. Mark Ellison has made a submission to the inquiry into Site C conducted by the BC Utilities Commission. He says there is and really never was a business case for the project, and he's calling out a number of reasons for this. One, the project should have been subject to a lengthy review, and of course it wasn't. Another is that he says BC Hydro's forecasts significantly and consistently exaggerate electricity demand in BC. So he notes that British Columbian ratepayers don't actually need the extra capacity that will be brought online by Site C. And he also notes that they can't afford it. Projects like this, mega projects, tend to have significant and costly overruns and delays. He says there's a high probability we could see the costs associated with Site C grow to $12 billion from the budgeted $9 billion. He also calls out BC Hydro itself in his 22-page submission, saying that the Crown Corporation is facing an unmitigated financial disaster. It has a ballooning debt burden, $6 billion in deferral accounts, and tens of billions of dollars in contract obligations. He says, don't expect that ratepayers won't be on the hook for some of these. If Site C moves forward, ratepayers will likely be footing the bill and will likely be experiencing higher rates overall.
Oh boy, surely a very contentious issue here in BC. Thank you, Hayley. Good to see you. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.